quick note before today's episode. In the first half of the video, I was using a very old laptop that I used to play games on, and for some reason now runs everything incredibly slowly, which is why everything, including the recording, is very janky, and I didn't have headphones, so Grayson had an echo, and it was a whole thing. Anyway, I hope it's not too distracting. We have a really great conversation about the boys. I'm really excited about this one. Please enjoy. Welcome to Pulp Diction. I'm your host, Dylan Gibson. Sorry, I'm using my old middle school laptop. I'm
Oh
at
my
my...
gosh, hey Dylan.
Hi! Bro. Bro. Bro.
This is awesome.
This is great.
This is awesome.
Alright.
So are we gonna jump right in, or what are we gonna do?
Yeah, we can jump right in, I suppose. Um, Welcome back to the Pulp Diction podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Gibson, and today I'm going to be joined by Grayson Geraldo. Grayson, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Grayson.
Yeah. And today, would you like to introduce what we're talking about?
So we will be talking about The Boys overall, but mostly season 4 of The Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Great season.
I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it.
You know, there wasn't as much action as in like season 3, but
Mm-hmm.
just this was just a build-up season, and the finale just capped it off
The finale
perfectly.
was
Starting off
insane.
season. Yeah,
Like, I have
season 5 coming in. It's gonna be
so many
awesome.
thoughts. And I mean, this season did get a lot of backlash for some reason. Um, I don't know.
Yeah,
Some people got really upset. I thought it was like just as good, if not better, than uh the other seasons. Like, sure, I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't as good as some parts, but I mean, it's still quality. The Boys, it's the same show.
yeah. It's like, you could just keep watching it. Like, you know, the show was good. It's got a good message behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I feel like with this season they were just a little too direct and too blunt, or not too like sharp with the jokes. I feel
Yeah,
like in
it was
previous
very
seasons they kind of
blunt.
cut, but
Like,
this one is just straight on, straight on, straight on.
especially with the end, like it's on January 6th and them taking over.
Yeah, yeah. Them taking over, and then there was a Joe Rogan or Seth Rogen joke in there somewhere, I think. Or no, it was what's his name? Alex Jones, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
Firecracker
that's
was
his name.
definitely like a parody of Alex Jones and all those conservative commentators. I thought
Yeah,
she was done really well, and it's really funny to
yeah,
me
she
because
was
she's,
done really well.
it's just really funny to me because she's a lesbian that's playing this intensely homophobic Republican right-wing character.
Wasn't Stormfront Jewish as well?
She might have
The
been.
actor.
She might have been.
I
That
think
that would
she
be pretty
was.
funny.
Anthony Starr's performance in this is just getting better with every
It
season, I think.
it's insane that he hasn't been nominated for an Emmy yet. He
Yeah.
surely, like, was it episode 4 where he goes back to the science facility?
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of the best episodes in the entire show. Just him dealing with his past. Like, I think that was where I started to take a lot of notes, and where I kind of really started to realize, like, the big theme of this season was characters' pasts coming back to bite them, right? And them learning to move
Mhm.
on from these pasts. Uh,
That's exactly what I noticed. It's just facing the past. You know, Kamiko and Frenchie, they faced their past.
mm-hmm.
Huey had to face his past with his
Past with
mom.
his mom, yeah, exactly.
Starlight had to
Like,
come to
her
terms
past
with what
gets,
Starlight and Annie Jane were.
like, Firecracker is not only from Starlight's past, but she's bringing up, like, exposing aspects from Starlight's past,
Mhm.
like the abortion, the mom that she
Yeah.
blinded, right?
Which for The Boys is like a really, it took a little bit of turn because in season 3 there was a message with Huey just about being powerless and trying
Mm-hmm.
to find power.
Right.
You know, he was always like, "I want to save you for once," to Starlight,
Mm.
but he could never save her, so he abused the drugs. He felt powerless, so he had to
Right. And
do other
he
things.
finally had a chance
Now
to feel
looking back
powerful.
on it, yeah, looking back on it, he is coming to terms with being just a regular person.
Yeah, for sure. It was very interesting to me the way Huey and Starlight's relationship developed this season, especially towards the end when the shifter took her place. Uh, because the shifter was saying, like, basically, she was reading her mind, so she was basically saying what she knew Starlight wanted to say. Like, Huey does want to marry Starlight, even if he didn't, the one he proposed to wasn't her. And she did get very upset with him, which I don't think is entirely unfair, but the way she went about it was one of the things that was, to me, just a little, like, how are you mad at him? Like, he got, for all intents and purposes, he was raped, right? Because he was having sex with someone that he didn't know he was having sex with. Huey went through it
Yeah,
this season. What's
he
the thing?
went through it.
The Web
He lost
Weaver
his
episode?
dad, and then he immediately went into the Web Weaver episode. Like that was the biggest turn of events.
Yeah.
Huey and his dad having a heartfelt moment, and then the next one he's getting his feet tickled.
He's in the tech cave.
The tech cave.
Oh,
Gosh, that's so funny. I like how
yeah.
in at least Tech Night, his butler was African American and he doesn't like BLM. Is
Yeah,
the
well,
butler that
because,
raised him was
remember he was talking about his family, they got their money off the slave trade, right? Like, A Train, we would have caught you. Which is insane.
which is absolutely crazy. Uh, Again,
Yeah.
they were just a little. That was funny. That was a little funny,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like, what the heck is going on? A lot of people have been saying that the boys is just getting too political, and it's getting like too gory. But I think that's what makes the boys the boys.
Yeah,
Is
it
it's
wouldn't
so
be
head
without.
on, and it's just disgusting and absurd.
It's very in your face, like it wants you to be grossed out, and a lot of the time that wouldn't work, but I think they toe the line in a way that's very special and just, and you think about it too in the context of superhero media in general. Like, the time this show came out was like, what, 2019, so the same year as
Mhm.
Avengers Endgame. So Marvel's at their peak, and here comes The Boys, this radically different take on superheroes, where they're just cynical, cold, they're bad, like they've put up this good image, but behind the scenes it's so much darker, and it's just a total deconstruction of the genre, like almost in the similar way that Scream was to slasher movies, I feel like.
Yeah,
Uh
that's completely true. Like for this and I guess Invincible, which are both on Prime,
mhm.
but are just kind of two different takes on the superhero genre. Like superheroes are just they're humans as well. They have human emotions. They just take advantage of them, and I think it's more realistic. May At least
Right.
the boys is more realistic, as in not all superheroes are going to be good guys and always these
Mhm.
morally perfect characters. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They have flaws and they're just as human as us.
Yeah.
And like the comics they're adapted from, it's just the comics are not good. I've heard
Yeah, no,
they're
I've
not
read
like
a few of
good.
them. I don't usually have to put down a comic that I'm reading, but like I'm a few issues into The Boys and I'm like, I think for the sake of my like well-being, I need to just step back. And Garth Ennis as a writer is like that in general. I had to do the same thing with one of his Punisher runs. I mean, he has a very distinct style.
Just gore and
Yeah, well, he hates
absurd.
superheroes is the thing, except Superman. Funny
Yeah,
enough. Um,
maybe that's why Homelander is based on Superman.
yeah, Homeland. Well, the thing is, characters like Superman and Captain America are like the embodiment of all the ideals that America is supposed to be, whereas Homelander is more of an embodiment of the like everything that America is, you know?
That's a really good take. I never really thought about like that. How like Superman and Captain America are what you want to see in America,
Mm-hmm.
like what America describes themselves as. Whether Homelander is just this greedy person that only works for his own goals,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess can be compared to American society. And then also with Soldier Boy, you know, I heard on the boys set they had a lot of veterans there, so they had
Really?
like real people saying or like reading the script and saying, "Oh, Soldier Boy would say this in that part or that," which I really did help with this character, and I'm excited to see him
Totally.
come back in season
I'm
5.
he was one of the highlights of he wasn't even in like many episodes in season 3, but immediately he became a highlight of the whole series was the thing.
Yeah, it's just because he's got those grandpa vibes, and but he looks young.
Mm-hmm. Like I mean,
So
and
just and
Jensen
he's got
Ackles
that
doesn't
deep,
hurt,
the
you
deep
know.
voice, and he's just like, man, he seems powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and when he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's very confident. He's and like he has principles, you know. He was ready to take Homelander down and Ryan too, if need be, even after he found out they were his family.
What do
Uh,
you think they're gonna do about the Ryan situation? Because he's not gonna
that's
go
a
back to
really
his
good
dad.
question. Cause like
He's,
he left Butcher
and
behind.
he
He
killed
killed
Mallory.
Grace, which was like my jaw dropped. I was not
Yeah.
expecting that at all. Um, and now, but especially now, like he was already getting disillusioned with Homelander, but especially now that he knows his mom was raped, I honestly think he's not gonna choose a side, but instead he just kind of wants to be left alone, like out of the
Hmm.
spotlight in general, like the Hulk, you know. He just wants to be left to his own devices. Doesn't want all the he doesn't want any part of all this drama. But I
Yeah.
do think he will be forced back into it, and like he might even die, which I think would motivate home Butcher further into, you know, I mean he's already like off the deep end at this point with him being controlled by Kessler or his dark side.
Hmm. What do you think about that? How do you think that the Tent V is what gives the Kessler thing, right?
Yeah, well,
That's the
I
thing.
think
It's the rabbit.
it's like yeah, well, Temp V was a it was a work in progress drug, right? And so they didn't really know what the long term effects were, and it was kind of killing him. But I think the tumor kind of gave into life of its own, as you see with the weird tentacle monster thing,
Mhm.
and uh, that takes the form of Kessler, which, as we saw through the whole Fight Club type plot twist, was J- Kessler himself is just a manifestation of Butcher's darkest, innermost thoughts and desires.
I thought it was really cool that I guess the parasite in Butcher is only manifested as his worst emotion.
Mm,
It's just killing soups, killing soups, killing soups.
yeah, like
It was like
nothing
his
else. He doesn't
ultimate
care about
desire.
anything or anyone else. And theoretically, things were gonna about to be going pretty well for them with Newman on their side, take working together to take down Homelander, because they were moving on from their. It goes along with the whole theme of the past from that season. Huey talking about how they have to learn to move on. Like Huey's probably the one like genuinely consistently good person on this show, and I don't know like, and I guess for that reason they have to torture him. But they're learning to
They have to
move.
torture him because he's good.
Yeah, they're learning to move on from the past by working with Newman, but Butcher comes and messes it all up because he can't move on. He has to stay
Mhm.
on that path of destruction that and violence that only begets more violence.
It's like his dad said, you either sink or you swim. There's only two options. You either
Mm,
die or you fight. You eventually die.
Yeah,
So I think
he's a man of extremes.
those things are planted in his head, so he just wants to go out and kill Soups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, and there's nothing left by the end of the season. He's just, his one goal in mind is, his mind is entirely set on killing Soups, nothing else. Not Huey, not Frenchie, nobody, just his own goals. Which
Yeah, and
obviously
then
isn't what Becca would want, but I'm curious to see if
that's
Becca keeps showing up, like, or if
I
Kessler's.
think Kessler's just gonna wipe him off
Mm-hmm.
or wipe her off the face of Butcher's mind, just
Right.
because he didn't have anything interfering. I also think that Kessler is kind of like Venom. You
Yeah,
kind of notice that?
I saw something about that. I kind of get it. Like, it's very symbiotic, almost parasitic relationship, and
Where
obviously the
he
whole
kind of,
tentacle thing.
yeah, the tentacles. I wonder if Butcher will get like a full suit like Venom, or if he just has the tentacles.
Mm, like almost a costume, you think?
Kinda, like a
A
you know how
shell.
Venom can like
Yeah, I
yeah
get you. I get you. Just turn into a whole monster. Yeah,
yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
Now, I also think Ashley is going to be like this version of the Hulk.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder what's gonna happen to Ashley after she took the V. And you gotta think
She
too,
took
like
the
the writers, they love to, when they give these characters powers, they love to tie them into their personalities in some way. Like Huey's father, I think it was pretty obvious what happened there. Like he was saying that uh, Huey's mom, it felt like she was looking straight through him, like he was just unseen, and just like he was going through things, right? And Huey was,
Mhm.
he got the ability to teleport because he, he likes to run away from things, I guess.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Butcher got the laser eyes and the super strength, similar to Homelander, because when you really get down to
Exactly.
it, he and Homelander are two sides of the same coin. But Ashley,
Yeah,
like, I wonder how they're gonna tie into her personality.
especially because I think her whole personality is just being frantic and ripping her hair out and always trying to be perfect, perfect, perfect. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, being paranoid all the time. Oh my gosh, Homelander's going to kill me. Oh my gosh, I have to listen to him. I have to listen to these people. I don't think we've ever seen a side of Ashley that's free and just
yeah.
fighting.
And I mean, it looked like
Kind
her head was almost like bulging to me in
of.
that last scene. So I almost wonder if she's gonna have some sort of like super intelligence, or maybe, I don't know, just some form of mind powers. But
She might have like telekinesis or something,
yeah,
but I
but
feel
I
like
feel like they
she's
definitely
kind of
will
like
give her something very messed up, very just not pleasant to witness.
hair manipulation.
Mm,
Just pull out other people's hair. Ugh.
right.
I mean, that would go along with the Homelander graying thing.
True. I yeah, that was, I remember that fit, like the at reveal at the beginning of this season. That was just,
That was just I
it's a
don't
good,
understand what's going on with that.
I mean, it's a representation of how vain he is and how he's so hyper focused on any s- even the smallest things that remind him that even he gets old. He's not in fact a god, but he ages just like anyone else, and that terrifies him.
I think he's like looking at himself and he's comparing it to Stormfront and Soldier Boy because they don't age.
Mm,
He does. Maybe and then maybe he's thinking, oh my gosh, Vought made me age, so eventually
eventually
I
I'm gonna
will
die.
die.
Yeah, I hadn't
Yeah.
thought about that.
He's thinking he's immortal.
Mm-hmm.
I also think with this new presidency thing, he's gonna find it very just lonely. You remember at the beginning of the season when he was like huh, deep blah blah blah
Blow
doing the
a
thing
train.
to A Train. Yeah, it was because there was no one else to
Like,
rival him.
he
He had
was
no
he was
purpose.
tired of being surrounded by yes men who were too scared to say no to anything he said, which was why he brought Sage on. But eventually, Firecracker inflated his ego too much, and he fired Sage again. But
But Sage came in with the plan, came through with the plan, right?
yeah,
So a little weird. I think Sage is a great character because
she's so
she doesn't
cool.
have she her only power is just being extra smart. So all she wants to do is challenge herself, see to what extent her power can go. It's like being the fastest. It's like having a Lamborghini, but only driving it 30 miles an hour. You're never gonna see how fast it can go.
Exactly. Like she's kind of cool because she's not in this for any actual ideals or anything. She's kind of sociopathic in that way. She's just in it like to test her own limits and to finally let loose with this power that she has.
And also because she hates humanity, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
that's
because it killed her mom, which person she really cared
mhm.
for. And if she did make a cure for cancer, why didn't she just become like a doctor and cure everything?
I don't
That I
know.
don't understand. Why hold yourself up to being a superhero when you could be a super person? Oh, that was low key
Ooh,
tough.
that's tough. That's a good quote. There were a few decisions like that, like not necessarily backstory, but that I was just like, why? Uh, like why didn't Homelander search the house after he saw Sage had been shot in the head? Uh,
Yeah, he just saw. Maybe it's because he couldn't let those Congress people panic,
yeah,
and maybe it was part of Sage's plan
to get shot.
to get shot because I was thinking about this earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Sage wanted to get shot, so Newman had to step up.
Oh, oh,
She
okay.
purposely ran towards the alarm thing
Knowing
in the
full well
library,
what would happen to her.
knowing she would get shot, but she would be fine.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen
And
earlier,
then
like we saw before that, like she enjoys those times when she is essentially lobotomized. She doesn't have to think. She doesn't have to be herself. So it's almost a little break for her.
yeah, with the deep,
That
I think
was
the deep had a really
the
he was
Deep
just the
had an
comic
interesting
relief,
arc
but he
this
had
season because
kind
he
of
kind
cool
of
for this season
like well there was all the stuff
because
with
he
the
was going through this
octopus.
existential kind of crisis with his octopus. He ends up killing it, and then he's just pledging his full allegiance to
Yeah,
Homelander.
calling Ashley a Capibarnia. Um, but I thought his arc was pretty interesting because, like, the Deep for the last few seasons has been this pretty goofy character, right? He always has this, like, just silly side story, and you can't help but like laugh. Just yeah, he's so silly. But gets his confidence back, and you see in that monologue where he's attacking the guys at the Flatiron Building. Like, I don't apologize for raping you, Starlight. Uh, Me Too failed, womp womp womp. Which is funny, but you look at it deeper and you're kind of reminded, like, even the goofiest member of the Seven is still a threat, you know? Like, he almost gets Butcher.
Yeah, he almost gets Butcher, and then Starlight doesn't have her powers,
Mm-hmm. And so
so he
things
can't really
look pretty
do
bad
anything.
for a second there.
Oh, also Noir. Noir is a great
I
character.
love New
I love
Noir.
Noir so much just because it's almost it's like seeing a man reborn, and it's the same actor too.
Mm-hmm. They
It's the
just
same
finally gave him
actor, and
lines.
they just give him. And apparently, he also has narcolepsy in real life. The
I
actor,
saw that.
so they just wrote that in.
Mm-hmm. Along with the tree nut
Uh,
allergy, which from
well,
old
is that
Noir.
true too?
Yeah, apparently that's true. That's like something he actually has.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they tailor it to the actors too,
Oh,
so they can
totally.
get the most out of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they.
But
Yeah.
I like how just he says there's like 7 file boxes of shitty Buster Beaver drawings.
Yes.
And because no one knew Noir, he was
Mm-hmm.
just this unreadable
I mean,
mask.
because he couldn't communicate. He was missing a part of his brain, and he just couldn't function very well, unfortunately. And he had a very tragic arc himself in season 3. You kind of get to see like what made him the way he is, and
I felt like Noir would have been a really like one of the boys if Soldier Boy wasn't hard on him.
yeah, that's true.
Like would have been just almost a perfect character.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that type of Captain America, because he was trying to give himself a name, and he was super abled. He's a superhero,
Mm-hmm.
and he would have been an actor. Would have been all this stuff. He would have brought attention to himself. But I felt like he was a good guy down deep.
Yeah,
He was just
he was good.
uh,
But we see again and again what happens to good people in the boys like Noir and Huey. But the thing is, he remains good. Like he has every right to crash out and just go off, but he doesn't. He moves forward. In this season especially, he learns to move forward and to just not let what is it he says? To beat the monsters, we have to act more human, something like that.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Well, I feel like that's something he learned from his dad, right? Because his dad didn't lash out. He didn't show any emotion
yeah,
when his mom left. All he did was sit on the couch and eat pizza rolls.
right.
But there's nothing you can do. If you're raising a young child, it's not being brave to. You're not being a good parent if you're going to be mad all the time and just be a terrible parent. You're going to be the one that provides and wants to spend time and care for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when you realize that his dad was brave. It was just in a different way than
Oh,
Soldier
for
Boy and
sure.
Homelander. What do you think about the Starlight losing her powers? I never understood exactly why she lost her powers.
Yeah, they
I
didn't
don't
really
remember when.
properly address it. I think it was something to do with like her confidence or whatever, her like a Spider-Man 2 type of thing where she's like kind of just stopped believing in herself, as cheesy as that is. I mean, but of course they come back in full force at the very end when she goes full Iron Man flying off.
Yeah, that was crazy. I
That
was
was
like,
that was I
what?
mean that whole ending montage, like them play the Nirvana heart-shaped box needle drop has got to be one of my favorite uses of music in the whole show so far. But
The music in this town was fantastic too.
it was so good. It was so good.
And did you realize that Kimiko was screaming "No,
I
no,
know.
no" when
Yeah,
Frenchie got?
my jaw dropped. Like Kimiko speaks that she but of course it's only now that Frenchie's getting taken away and I don't think it's a coincidence that it was the Gen V characters that were taking Frenchie away to who knows where. I think Frenchie might be in Gen V season 2. Uh
I think he's gonna be the replacement for the lead scientist
mm, the
because they have he's the he's the what's it called, the chemist guy.
yeah. Yeah.
So they're gonna make him work out more doses of the virus to infect Marie Moreau and all those
Mm,
other
yeah,
Gen V
I
people.
mean that whole ending montage, like I'm so excited to see where all these characters go next cuz you really don't know. Like they have you thinking the ending's about to go one way and then in the span of a few minutes it's a total curveball and it goes a different way. Like
I also like how MM meets up with Love Sausage again.
I noticed that like that dude every time.
He's had three with him now,
Mhm. Oh,
and they've all been
and of course,
busting it.
the germaphobe is always getting attacked by the guy with whose only power is just having a giant, uh, controllable penis.
I was gonna say something about that ending montage. I like how Butcher was never targeted.
Yeah,
I
he's
like
like
how
totally
the
off the
only
radar at this
those
point.
the three cars that left that little station were MM, Frenchie, and Kimiko. Or I guess they didn't have a car, but
Mm-hmm.
Frenchie, Kamiko, the three groups. Frenchie, Kamiko, MM, and Huey and Starlight. They all just get found immediately.
Right.
Just off rip. They
Mm-hmm.
get found immediately. There's no chance of them getting away.
Yeah, and it
Which
like this next season, it looks so hopeless. Like it's one of those how on earth are they going to get out of this one kind of things.
especially since this is supposed to be the last season.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I hope the next season's like special extra length, like more than 8 episodes,
Mhm.
just because. Uh-oh. All right. So we had some technical difficulties and a few days of hiatus between now and the last bit of recording, but we're back.
Indeed, we did.
Yes. Yes, but we're back, and now I'm on my actual computer, so the audio should no longer be shit. Um,
Big word there.
yeah, yeah. Ah! Um, no words. We're talking about the boys. The situation is warranted.
Yeah, that's. I think it's okay.
Yeah, we'll survive.
I hope.
The youngins' ears will have to. The many listeners to the Pulp Diction podcast, they'll have to get over it.
How many people think do you listen?
Well, I know for a fact I get a total of 0 Spotify listeners on like every episode, and like maybe a few YouTube views if I'm lucky, and those generally only watch the first like 5 minutes at most. But it's for a school project. It doesn't matter. We're just here to have a good time, have some gits and shiggles. Yeah.
Okay then. All right. So where did we leave off?
I believe we were talking about the ending, the season 4 finale, the montage with heart-shaped box.
Oh, great! That might have been like the best finale I've ever seen to a show.
Really, like
Ever.
to any like not just a season finale, just wow.
To any show
Any
ever.
show. I mean,
like that's a great.
It was a fantastic
it's not
finale.
The season 4 finale.
Yeah.
Like it's not a done deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's such a good cliffhanger and just such a good subversion of your expectations. How they set it up, like, where they're all going their separate ways, and they do go their separate ways. But the Vought turns the tables on them. They're all getting captured. But we went over that, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's just like so many shocking moments in a few minutes, like a big one. That boat that got dropped on the road in front of Huey and Starlight.
Oh yeah.
That was an actual boat, by the way. Like they got a crane and a big boat, and they dropped the boat on the highway. You gotta respect it, you know.
How do you think that works with all the set? Like, they just drop they have one chance, or else the boat's ruined, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, the boat is ruined no matter what. So they just gotta make sure they get the shot. Yeah, it's the beauty of practical effects, you know. It's real, and I think the boys and Gen V have always had a good mix of practical and CG effects.
Yeah, I feel like most of the CGI stuff is just the gore.
Yeah, right. And like a lot of the time, the best use of CG is to just like amplify and improve the effects that are already there, like like the gore. And I kind of for some reason
seriously, the gore is real.
Well, it's real fake blood, you know.
Yeah. Nah, I got what you're saying.
But yeah, I know, and obviously there's a lot of stuff they just can't do practically, like the flying and the laser eyes and pretty
Yeah.
much every superpower. Love sausage. Uh, for some reason
Nah,
I
that's
was, for some reason I was, nah, that was real.
it's real.
But for some reason I started thinking about what's her face from Gen V, the shrinking girl. I this set
Oh,
photo of her on the giant penis. Have you
mm,
seen that? The
yeah, I did.
Yeah, which like that's a fantastic practical effect right there.
Yeah. And then they enhanced it with CGI.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay.
assume.
I never knew they did that. I thought it was just all CGI.
Yeah, no, there was just a giant dick they had her just wrap her arms and legs around.
Mm,
It's pretty graphic,
yeah. Doesn't seem
but
too PG.
but yeah,
Muse, what do you think of the firecracker kind of character in this season?
I thought she was really interesting. I mean, it goes along with the whole theme of people of the past catching up with people, right? Because she's
Yeah,
like somebody Starlight did wrong, uh, and she's digging up all the dirt, and she serves a political commentary too, like the Alex Jones conservative commentator type.
mhm.
But I mean, she provided a lot of good humor, good jokes from the season.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, like the milk moment, of course, but I I think that was also like you got to think about it like her whole purpose for being there was because Sage knew she could bring Starlight down. And now that Starlight's down, what purpose does she serve? She needed to find another purpose so that
yeah.
Homelander would keep her around. So what does she do? She makes him breast milk. She appeals to his mommy issues. And of course that's messing with her a lot. You see with the coughing and stuff, which
Yeah,
I loved Anthony Starr's face, just the disgusted look.
it's just his reactions are so good.
They're
It's such a
amazing.
it's so natural and just awkward.
Yeah, but yeah, and his initial reaction too, with when he first gets squirted on with her breast milk.
Yeah, I wonder what it's like when you're doing those scenes.
Apparently it took a lot of takes because he couldn't stop laughing. Which like yeah.
It's 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 pretty.
I mean how do you react in that situation?
I don't
Uh,
think this, like
uh
even some of the movies we do for film, it's just like we can't stop ourselves from laughing. I
yeah,
don't understand how these big actors, when they do scenes like that, they don't just they can muscle it.
I know. I think I've seen gag reels for like a lot of the other seasons. I really enjoyed the one for season 3 because you got Jensen Ackles and Anthony Starr just having a lot of fun in their fight scene.
Yeah.
But I think I'm I am more excited for the season 4 gag reel than any other gag reel ever, just because
I feel also
I want to know what it
I
was
also
like.
feel like on the Instagram they've been posting like more photos of just Anthony Starr and all the
Mm,
other cast
they
just being
definitely
goofy.
have.
And it's just been like it's been a great just
Yeah.
following it.
Oh yeah, and their marketing too. Like you look on social media, they have some of the best marketing ever. And like you
Yeah.
look at the comments section on any Vought post, and it's everyone's in character, like calling each other Deep State Starlighters or I support Homelander, all that stuff. It's so funny, and
And you'll see
everyone
that
gets
type of
so
stuff
into it.
like shit posts that aren't even about like they aren't coming from the main Instagram too.
Yeah, it's like The Boys is mainstream at this point,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's doing well. Like it's popular for a reason, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has gained a bit of a bad rep. just for, people call it out for just being over the top and relying on shock value and stuff. And yes,
Yeah.
like a lot of it is just shock value, but that's and it's even mean spirited a lot of the time, right? But I
But when
think
you
it,
see it the first time, it's just like, what is going on?
yeah.
The absolute absurdity of it just creates this, and like the realism too. It's kind of real, but
Hmm.
it's so absurd.
But
It
it's
makes you
like
just
it's a heightened reality. It's
yeah, yeah, exactly.
and you can't help but laugh. I mean, if you're maybe you have to be a certain level of twisted to laugh, but
Mhm.
I mean, we're teenagers. I think we're the prime audience for a
Yeah,
show like this. Like we're right in that sweet spot of like, being mature enough to appreciate all the, the nuances and all the inappropriateness, but immature enough to laugh at all the inappropriateness.
oh, of course.
Yeah, like even you put aside the gore and the sex and all that. Like I do think it has a lot of legitimate artistic merit as a show. Like I was thinking
Yeah.
about some of like just looking some of the cinematography in this season, especially the finale.
Oh, it
But
was great. I noticed that too. Between season 3 and this season, just the overall production has gotten so
mm-hmm.
much better.
Oh yeah, like and I have a feeling that the rise in popularity has something to do with that, right? Like
Mhm.
it's one of Amazon's flagship shows at this point. And so as such, they've definitely increased the budget. And it's not like something like Star Wars. You look at the Acolyte, they ain't doing jack shit with their budget.
Yeah.
But the boys, like they're using this budget, and you can tell it looks great. And like between the special effects and the cinematography, like uh just it highlights some of the parallels between Butcher and Homelander, for example, like just
Oh,
in
I
similar
noticed that
shots
a lot
between
too.
them, or and even like cutting between them in the same angle, that sort of thing. I liked the symbolism or imagery or whatever of the giant American flag in Homelander's apartment. Just this ridiculous, impractical show of patriotism. And of course, near the at the final episode, when he's pissed off about, uh, is it he found a picture of Ryan and of Becca and Butcher. I don't know,
Yeah, back in the
whatever he was pissed off about. The American flag is burning, uh, which is like, very subtle, right?
mhm.
Just American values are he's burning them. They're dying,
Yeah,
and
those like core values of family and just
mhm,
freedom.
yeah,
He's
and
learning that,
I
creating
the
just to create this new world for Ryan.
right. And the relationship between Homelander and Ryan has always been so interesting to me because before this season, like the real bitch of it was that Homelander wasn't that bad of a father is the thing. Like
Oh yeah,
did you notice that? Did you notice that?
he was not a terrible father
Yeah. Until
until Firecracker kind of
yeah.
did her thing, and then he got distracted with his own need for love and mommy issues. But
Oh yes.
he kind of, I think he's getting caught up with this idea of creating a safe haven for Ryan,
Yeah.
but he doesn't do any what Ryan wants. That's not what
Yeah.
Ryan wants.
He's doing what he wants. It's the whole
Mhm.
thing of like
He's trying to live
like
vicariously through
this is
Ryan.
yeah, exactly. Like this is our dream. No, dad, it's your dream. What is that? We bought a zoo. I don't know.
Not quite sure. Anyways, he
Anyways,
doesn't really have. He's not in touch with Ryan's wants and needs.
he's not in
Because I
touch
mean,
with anybody aside from himself.
yeah. Well, it's also
Even
because
then.
the ways that he grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Ryan grew up in a home with Becca, with a mom,
Yeah.
loving mom, kind of shut off from the world. Where Homelander was grown up, shut
Shut
off from the
off
world.
in a lab.
lab.
just isolated, abused, tortured, etc.
Just forced to be the strongest.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Ryan doesn't want to be strong. He just
Yeah,
wants to help.
it's the Homelander versus Superman difference, right? Like Homelander raised in a lab, isolated, cold, whatever. Superman raised on a farm by these two kindly strangers, you know, just Southern hospitality, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, Homelander is just every episode, again and again, it proves to be just one of the most interesting villains I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially he's just like his gravitas, his I don't know, his just aura.
His aura. That's
His
like the
aura.
word gets thrown around a lot lately, but it's true. He has an aura about him.
On screen, you're just like, what is going to happen?
He just has
next?
this presence. Yeah, exactly. What's going to happen next? Like I remember watching The Dark Knight years and years ago when I was a kid, and seeing Heath Ledger Joker and being almost scared because I'm like, he was so unpredictable. I didn't know what he was going to do next. And Homelander has the same effect. He's terrifying because, I mean, he's a stretched out rubber band. You don't know when he's going to snap, you know?
Yeah, exactly. How about, I was wondering, what do you think of Starlight this season? I'm not sure if we covered this already.
I don't think
but
we
her
did.
losing her powers.
But yeah, her losing her powers. I feel like we might have gone over it. We can skim over it just to be sure. Like I think it was like a Spider-Man 2 thing where she lost her self-confidence.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of just
and a bit of a plot device. You know, just they need to move it forward. Whatever.
I thought it was.
I had some mixed feelings about Starlight, to say the least. Like.
I thought it was just complete crap.
Yeah.
I mean, you lose your powers after like what Firecracker exposed you for, because you don't know who you don't know who Starlight is or any January. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Starlight, like peak Starlight was season 3, dropping out of the 7, going back into Vought Tower and recording Homelander.
Yes, that was so badass.
That was peak Starlight because she knew how to use her fame and her power.
Yeah, and that's another thing. This show knows how to make like good, cool female characters, you know?
But this past season she's going through this identity crisis. I don't get it.
Just kind of self-pitying.
Yeah, I feel like there's not, even from the start, there's zero support for the Starlighters.
Yeah.
Or for the Starlight side. It's just completely dead.
Yeah, and you look at, and a lot of people have complained about her reaction to Firecracker exposing the abortion, and she just beats the shit out of her.
Yeah.
But you can't necessarily blame her for that. Like,
no, that was like a good idea for the writers to have her just beat.
Especially because, you know, she realizes like she shouldn't have done that almost immediately. But I mean, it's understandable, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did, one of my favorite moments was when she did get back her powers. I will say, an Iron Man away.
I thought that was a little excessive because remember in the beginning when she was just learning how to fly.
That is
and
true.
Now she just Iron Man's off. I was like, what?
Like, really? From 0 to 100? That's true.
Shocking. But I guess they couldn't have done it any other way.
Yeah. I guess it was meant to be this like holy guacamole moment, but well, I mean, like that entire montage was right between that and Kimiko speaking and whatnot.
Getting
slapped by
Drake love sausage.
Drake. Yeah. Poor guy.
He's like 0 for 3 against love sausage now.
Hey, he'll have his get back next season.
I hope he does. I want that
It's
more than I want Butcher Homelander.
true. Most underrated rivalry in the show. And Love Sausage.
Because
When did he first show up? Was it Red River?
Sage Grove,
Yeah.
the Sage Grove Center, when they were trying to
Right.
get with
Okay, I thought so. I thought and
Yeah.
you saw the end too. Newman's daughter was sent to the facility, right?
Oh yeah, Red River, because Butcher didn't kill her.
Yeah. Which I wonder why. If he has this, you have to think like, if he has this mindset now of kill all soups, and no compromises, almost like Rorschach-esque. Why did he spare the daughter? Why did he spare Starlight and Kimiko? It's because there's still this bit of Butcher that's that has faith in them, right?
I'm not sure it's faith. I think faith is not the right word. I think he's just using them.
Like he sees them as tools. They're not
tools rather than like
people. Yeah.
Because remember when he was talking to Maeve in season 3, and he was like, "You all gotta go," and he was very strict about all soups dying.
Mm-hmm. With great power comes what is it?
The right certainty that you'll turn into a right
bad word.
Bad word.
Yeah.
Do you edit these?
I edit these.
Okay. I'm making sure.
Yeah, there would be a lot of awkward silences and likes and ums. Well, more than there already are if I didn't edit these. Trust me. Like you thought you thought the last session wasn't going great, but in comparison, like I've had to hard carry some of these. This one has been going swimmingly, Grayson.
Really?
Yeah, you're the only person that's ever like asked questions on this. It's great.
Yeah, I must it's got to be like me because I'm the best.
For sure.
What else can we talk? I feel like there's not much we can talk about.
We've gone over most of what's worth going over. I mean, the finale was great. Episode 4 was great with all that stuff.
Okay, well, here's the real kicker. Episode 6. Thoughts?
Which one was what was up? Oh, the tech cave.
The tech cave.
Oh man, Huey went through. Like, was it the episode earlier or 2 episodes earlier that his dad died?
Episode earlier that his dad died.
Yeah, that was a beautiful episode.
That was a great episode. I thought it was
so well done. Just the depiction of dementia and learning to let go, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think it also shows that The Boys is not just a show about superheroes and gore. It's also like a beautiful
and
show.
Being edgy and whatever. Yeah, it's capable of being more, of having those moments of genuineness and like being genuinely heartfelt and artsy. And like for all the lampooning and satire it does of the superhero genre, you can tell that like behind it all there is some level of love and appreciation for superheroes, whereas in the comics you don't get that because the author despises superheroes.
Okay, back to episode 6.
Anyway, episode 6. I appreciated some of the comedic elements. I mean, Huey did get like sexually abused, which is pretty bad. And he says like, "I'm not okay," and it's whatever. Like, I wouldn't be that upset about it because if they took it more seriously afterwards, aside from that "I'm not okay" moment. But there was this interview I read with Eric Kripke, the showrunner, where the interviewer asks him about like how they handled Huey getting sexually abused, and he's all like, "Oh well, that's a dark way of looking at it. We just thought it was funny," which is like, that's so wrong when you look at a few, like the first season, how they treated Starlight's sexual abuse with
Oh
the amount of
yeah,
care and respect they did, and compare that with what they did with Huey, getting sexually, all the messed up stuff in the tech cave, and getting manipulated into having sex with somebody who's, not who she says she is, 20 times, which is by definition rape, and you treat it as a joke. It's
that's
a little
that's the huge difference,
infuriating.
not episode 6. Episode 6 is
Yeah,
just the
I know
tech.
episode 6 is just a tech cave, but it's
Well,
related.
anyways,
Anyway.
I thought the framing around the Huey's like sexual assault uh was a little more lighthearted. I mean, you could tell
Yeah,
there were more comedic elements with it,
right.
where compared to Starlight's, because
Uh-huh.
Starlight's was like framed as just
Like
clear rape.
dirt. Like
Yeah,
you feel dirty watching it.
yeah, and then during Huey's, you can laugh a little bit, and it's just
Yeah,
like, what am
but
I
it's
watching?
almost uncomfortable laughter.
It's
Like
still
the
uncomfortable.
shock value goes to another level. Just when you think every time, just when you think they can't get shock you anymore, they pull something like the tech cave. Ain't no
Yeah.
party like a tech night party. But I did really appreciate the joke of Webweaver's safe word being Zendaya as the thing he
Oh, I
loves the
thought that was
most.
funny too.
Because, obviously Webweaver's Spider
Spider-Man.
Man and Tom Holland is Spider Man, and, Zendaya.
Yeah.
I thought the safe word was going to be Mary Jane, as in, like, pot. But I think Zendaya works too.
Oh, that would have been a good one too. I didn't think of that. Having Mary Jane instead of Zendaya.
Hmm. But
Well, I guess Zendaya is officially canon in the MCU or
the
the boys,
boys, the VCU, the Vought Cinematic Universe.
the Vought cinematic universe. So maybe we'll see her in season 5.
Zendaya. She'll be in the next A Train. Oh wait, no, A Train's not getting movies. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
H-Man's not getting his movie.
they canceled Training Age. I laughed so hard at Will Ferrell showing up just
That
for
was a.
no reason.
I think that is just a great part. Just like a break
I
from
know.
the actual
Yeah.
story. It's just a great part because it.
And it's just totally making fun of these like stupid white savior movies, right? Where he's just, the white guy comes and saves helps the black athlete find their way.
Yeah, I hate those movies.
Episode 6, I think, might have been the most comedy focused of the season, maybe, because you think too about how they tortured Tech Knight. And I thought that was a very creative way to go about it. Like, how do you
Yeah,
torture somebody who enjoys being tortured?
yeah,
Right? So they go and get into his financial account, start going to BLM. No, not those people.
that was. It was crazy, but it was so well put together.
It was.
I mean, I got a question. Like, I think the boys kind of overdoes how many bad superhero, like in bad and just
Yeah, like
weird
you'd think there
superheroes
would
there
be
were.
a few more diamonds in the
Just
rough, if you will.
yeah,
Like, not like it has a very, and I get it. Like, the whole point is anyone with that much power would be corrupt and that sort of thing. But I don't know. It's a cynical show, and I think that's a very cynical outlook on life. Like, I
mhm,
like to believe that humanity's better than that, and maybe they're not. But I'd like to believe that. That's why Superman's my favorite superhero. Like just the idea that power doesn't always corrupt. That people can and will use it just to be helpful, right? Or to
yeah,
just be good. And it would be nice to see a bit more of that. But I guess it wouldn't really fit in with the show's general theme and message.
yeah. I feel like there are only or the good characters are the ones that are the most either sheltered from humanity's harshness or the ones that have been in that harshness for the longest time.
Mm.
Like Starlight, I felt was a a helicopter child where her mom was kind of just
Oh yeah,
looking out for like
yeah,
hovering around her and doing all that.
yeah. Like
And
making her
then
compete in all these pageants and dance
yeah,
competitions, like a
and then
JoJo Siwa type.
Kimiko was just completely taken from her parents, and
Yeah,
so she wants to just redo everything.
Kamiko went through it.
Yeah,
you, and you think about it too, like why do you think most of the good soups are women? Do you think just men all get corrupted? I
I
mean,
think men have a higher chance of being corrupted,
that's probably true. That's
just like a
probably
higher
true.
probability
Yeah.
compared to although I feel like women are more moral
Yeah. No, that's
and guys are
probably
just
accurate.
guys are like more impulsive too.
They are. Yeah.
How much how much more do you think we need?
I think we're pretty much good. Like the first one went for about 25 minutes. We're at about 30 now, so we can wrap it up if you want.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
You want me to wrap it up?
If you would like to, it would, yeah, just go ahead.
All right, Pulp Diction listeners, that'll wrap it up for this episode talking about the boys. We'll see you in the next one.
That was an excellent wrap up. Good job. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Dylan. You gotta add some outro music to it too.
What do you want me to do? Just
That one.
oh, the
Yep.
yeah, I know the one. All right.